take it and put it somewhere.
No, absolutely not. If I'm walking into your house and you ask for my phone, I'm turning around and leaving.
Really?
Yes.
How to get rid of Danny 101.
Exactly right. That is just something that I'm a grown ass adult. You can mention, hey, let's try and keep our phones put away tonight. Okay.
Hey, put your phone in the basket.
No.
No. Put your phone in my cabinet.
No.
Go put your phone in the car. It's never okay. Jason texted in the 901-535-9898 Rick's powder coating line and said during an MRI is okay to take somebody's phone.
Well, come on.
You know dogs can't perform an MRI.
No, they can't.
But cats can.
Oh, wow. That's where we're at today, huh? I'm not a cat.
901-535-9898.
Hey, I have a story for you. My daughter had to put up her phone in a basket during a test in high school.
It's okay to take your phone at school.
She thought it was kind of gross because everyone's phone was in one basket, and people are kind of nasty when it comes to phones. So she didn't like that aspect of it, but she didn't have a problem with not having a phone during a test.
Right.
Yeah, it does sound kind of nasty, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is kind of gross when it's a room of like 30 kids and everyone's phone is in one big basket together.
I don't know how the Delta variant gets spread.
Really, right?
I'm not going to get you to touch my phone, but I just want you to look at the screen protector and the dirt under it.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Like when my wife and I have the same phone, and when they're sitting on the table side by side, I can just look and I know mine because of the
brown line on the left.
Because of the brown line on the phone. That's just dust. It's where the little screen protector came up and it got dirty, and I don't know how to clean it. I guess I could just get a new screen protector, couldn't I?
I guess so. I guess I have a screen protector. I didn't think I would have one, but it looks like I clearly do.
Do you ever wash your phone? Is washing the phone something we should do?
I take wipes to it, yeah. Especially because I'll try and show somebody something, and I'll look and be like, apparently my kid picked her nose last night and then played on my phone. That's embarrassing.
Hey, you want to watch this video? I don't mind the booger. That's hysterical. Randy Wright is coming in from the dive shop. He has got shark attack stories for days.
It's amazing.
And so he's on the way just after 8. Randy Wright with the Dive Shop is joining us right now. 60 years of the Dive Shop. I bet y'all are having a celebration.
Absolutely. This Saturday, August 14th, come on out. We're going to have Grassfire Bluegrass Band, Turner Arnold, who's a up-and-coming country musician that started with us as a dive guy. And then we're going to have some great barbecue. We're going to have some jerk chicken, some peas and yams, some real Caribbean-style luau food.
Bluegrass and Caribbean food. I'm in.
A bunch of prizes we're giving away. We got all kinds of stuff like that. We couldn't find a Caribbean band around here. So, you know how that works.
The great Memphis timpani shortage of 2021.
Exactly. The steel pan guys are somewhere else, that sort of thing. But we'll have prizes. We'll have a bunch of giveaways. It's August the 14th. We're going to crank up about noon, be going to 5. It's going to be a big time. It's our 60th birthday.
Right. So we're going to do it up big out there next Saturday.
Yeah, and I'm looking at your website under the blog, and you're celebrating the 60 years with these pictures. And the gear itself has changed in 60 years.
Just a little, just kind of like cars have, It's like it's gotten a lot more easier to do, much more comfortable, and of course, it's all electronic now in terms of the keeping track of what you're doing while you're diving and that kind of thing. So it's much less of a macho sport than it used to be, that sort of things. Anybody can do it. We take kids as young as 10 years old. So, I mean, it's really come a long way in the time.
Not only do you take kids, when I was in there, I saw that this family came in and they wanted to learn how to scuba before they went on their vacation next week.
Wow, that's short notice.
It is.
And they did it. They said, all right, you have to come in early in the morning. And the dive shop made sure that they had an instructor there for the entire family to come, and they were ready to go.
Yeah, you gotta, if you want to do that, plan on spending 4 long days with us in order to get ready. And then when you get onto your vacation, you're going to spend another couple of days down there working with instructors to get certified.
How old do you have to be to swim with sharks?
You can swim with sharks as a little tiny child if you want to.
Just get in the water.
In fact, that's funny because I was down in the Bahamas and one of the dive masters on the boat, we were doing shark diving. And so what they do is they get everybody on the bottom in about 40 feet of water, and you're in a circle, and they tell you to cross your arms and, tuck your hands under your armpits, basically. And that's because what they're feeding the sharks, they bring down
arms and legs.
Arms and legs. They bring down 2 clamshelled milk cartons, and in that are frozen fish fillets. And if you look at your hand in the water waving around, kind of looks like a fish fillet. So, you don't want to pull your hand out and start waving at the camera.
Shark, hi.
Yeah, you see the shark in front, but you don't see the one that's behind you about to come over your shoulder. So you really don't want to look like you got a piece of food on the end of your arm.
Right.
But at the end of the thing, as you're coming back up to the boat, of course, the sharks are following that bait bucket. They know what the food is in. So they're following that bait bucket back up to the surface. And there were a bunch of people snorkeling on the top watching this. And the dive master, Ali, had his little, I think his niece out there with him. She was about 6 years old. And as the sharks started coming up towards the surface, she literally walked on the backs of the snorkelers to get back to the boat.
Oh my God.
She shot out of the water, and about 3 steps later, she's back on the boat. So it was really cool. So yeah, you can take young kids out there, but you just have to watch what's going on.
Keep an eye on them and the sharks.
Exactly. All right, with Randy Wright from the Dive Shop celebrating 60 years, I want you to tell us one of your interaction shark stories when we come back.
Absolutely.
Randy Wright from the Dive Shop is here with us. They're celebrating 60 years with a bluegrass Caribbean deliciousness food party next Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
August 14th. Y'all come on out. Noon to 5 or so. We're gonna have a big party.
On Yates on the south side of Poplar, right here, right around the corner from the radio station.
You know, Randy, a lot of people ask me about the goggle strap, and I never know how to really describe it. I finally said it's like a backpack strap, because when that is a lifesaver with the plastic rubber, I guess it's rubber goggles with kids.
Right.
No one likes dealing with those.
Oh yeah, the hair pulling thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's so simple, but people have called up here and goes, what is it called? I was like, just go to the dive shop, they'll show you.
Yeah, absolutely. You take that little rubber strap that comes on the thing that pulls all your hair out and all that kind of stuff, and then we have one that's made of neoprene that just slips right over your hair. It's real comfortable,
Neoprene.
very secure.
I see, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, there are tricks to every trade. I mean, it's one of those kind of things. And over 60 years, we've figured out a lot of easier ways to do things. And while the way that it's always been done will work,
We just got a better way
a
now.
couple of hints and tricks, will help you out a whole lot when it comes to snorkeling or scuba or even swimming. I mean, there are these little things that people have learned over time that if you just had that hint before you started, it would make the whole process a lot easier.
I know it did for us on our vacation and our kids, but we didn't encounter any sharks.
Yeah,
You have, and you act like it's no big deal.
it is a big deal. They're one of the most beautiful creatures on the planet. And unlike Stephen Benchley made them out to be, they're not out to eat people. We're not on the menu plan.
Unless you're in the water.
Yeah. Well, if that was the case, we would not be in the water because they're really good at what they do. So commonly the way that diving with sharks works is they put some type of food source in the water with the divers that is something that sharks would eat, typically fish of some kind, either ground up stuff that's left over or actual frozen fish fillets or something. And they put it in a package and let it float in the water, which the sharks are very perceptive about scent and that kind of thing. And they'll start to come to that bait. Or they'll actually, in some places, they've developed situations where they hand feed them.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, do you have a dog at home?
Yeah,
Did you give him a treat this morning before you left?
I did not.
Really? Does he bite you when you give him treats?
No.
Mine
Well,
does. It
sharks-
has to take off my hand.
Yeah,
Well,
I
sharks-
kind of toss it to him.
Yeah.
Really, now that you mention it,
Yeah,
for
well,
that very
sharks,
reason.
sharks are kind of the same way. You just have to watch where your fingers are when you give them the treat, But no, it's something where we travel all over the world taking people to see sharks, because once they realize that sharks are not aggressive towards humans, then they become interested and want to go and see them. So we down in the Bahamas, Stewart Coves, wonderful shark feeding operation, been doing it for years, and I'm talking 20 plus years. Never had a client injured.
Wow.
In the water with the sharks. Some of the feeders occasionally will get clumped on, but they're wearing a chainmail suit. And
Right.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, you might need one.
yeah, you might need one if you got food in your hand.
Right.
That's a good idea. So we were in South Africa a couple of years ago, down off the Cape of Good Hope, about 30 clicks out where the Indian Ocean comes in to meet the Atlantic. And inside of False Bay, down there in South Africa, the water temperatures are in the low 60s. Okay, so you see a lot of small sharks and that kind of stuff. And then, so we went out into the deep, they call it. This is going off the point into the deep. And so you're out there in thousands of feet of water, and they take a bait box with ground up tuna in it and floated it about 25 feet under the surface. So you're out there drifting in this really deep water, neutrally buoyant at 25 feet, just floating with this bait.
I'm terrified just listening to
And
this.
there's two species of sharks that come up out there. One is the blue sharks, the oceanic blue sharks.
Are those the vegetarians?
Yeah, they're the
Okay.
vegetarians. They're the long pointy ones that you see on TV a lot. But if you want to know where some guy in California got the idea to make blue metal flake paint, he was watching blue sharks. And
Oh.
He came up with that idea. And
Wow.
He said, wow, if I could get iridescent blue on a car, that would be really cool. Because that's the way they look. I mean, they're absolutely beautiful. and they're really sleek, and they're the classic shark swims in the S thing, and they're pretty quick and stuff like that. So they'll come into the group of people, and then they'll go up to the bait box trying to figure out if there's anything really to eat. And blue sharks they're the kind of shark that taste anything that's around to see if it's edible. So if you're wearing like a 5 mil wetsuit,
Mhm.
they have tiny little teeth. And if they were to actually come up and bite you, they would probably not get through the wetsuit. So you don't want to let them chew on you, obviously, because then they
Clearly.
would get through the wetsuit. But it's really, really simple. As they come towards you, and they'll come straight to you. I mean, they just kind of swim like, what in the heck is this thing floating around with all the bubbles coming out of its head? And they'll swim right straight up to you. And all you do is reach out and touch them on the nose. So you put your hand around the end of their nose and you just give them a little squeeze, not hard. You don't push them. You're not being aggressive. You're just letting them know that you are a being that is not to be trifled with.
I am not edible.
Yeah. I'm not a part of the food thing.
Right.
You know, I'm not what you're smelling kind of
Food
thing.
chains over there.
Yeah. Now, on the periphery of the group, you will see bigger sharks moving, and they'll be out just at the edge of your visibility. Okay. And they'll swim around 2 or 3 circles around the group, and then they'll disappear. And then somebody across the way from you will look at you and put their hand up on top of their forehead like a shark fin
Right.
and point down. And when you look down, you will see the classic shark attack thing going on, where these sharks are coming up from the bottom straight up under you. And these are mako sharks. Mako sharks are one of the man eaters type of thing. So what you do with a mako is, as they start their approach, you simply kick back and touch them on the nose again when they come up. So these sharks are they're like dogs. You just have to become aware of how they act.
Right. Randy Wright with the Dive Shop. They're celebrating 60 years. Go by there next weekend. Enjoy some Caribbean food and bluegrass. That's an interesting combination.
And prizes too.